Yeah, hi, I'm Jim Silliman. I'm the investigator in charge with the National Transportation Safety Board. Yesterday, the NTSB launched a team of 4 investigators to the investigation site. And we also have a team back at headquarters that are assisting with the investigation. Before I go any further, of course, I want to, on behalf of the NTSB, I'd like to extend our condolences to the family and friends of the deceased pilots. The NTSB is an independent federal agency charged by Congress investigating every single civil aviation accident in the United States and any significant accidents in railway, highway, marine, and pipeline accidents. We also issue safety recommendations aimed at preventing future accidents. Here's the factual information that we have right now. At 3:30 p.m. yesterday, a Learjet 35 N452DA crashed on approach to Teterboro Airport. The airplane departed Philadelphia International Airport at 3:04 p.m. for Teterboro. The airplane flew the ILS-6 approach and was cleared to fly a circling approach to land on runway 1. The accident site is about 3/4 mile from the threshold of runway 1 near the extended runway centerline. The accident site is about 440 feet long. Approximately 16 cars and 3 buildings were damaged. The majority of the airplane wreckage is in the parking lot. Following the accident, several witnesses have provided statements, and we hope to interview others. We have also gathered surveillance videos from surrounding companies. Some of the video we have examined appears to show the airplane impacted the parking lot in a sharp right-wing low, nose-down attitude. The video will be included in future analysis of additional facts as part of this investigation. Today we established parties to an investigation. They are FAA, Bombardier, which is the manufacturer of the aircraft, and Honeywell, the engine manufacturer. We are also being supported by local authorities. We have documented the site and conducted an initial examination of both engines and the aircraft. The aircraft was equipped with a CVR, a cockpit voice recorder. It has been recovered and is being shipped to the NTSB headquarters tonight. We'll also be in contact with air traffic control, and they will be providing further information. In the very near future, the aircraft and engines will be moved to a secure location for further examination. Also, as part of our investigation, we'll also gather information on the pilot's records, the aircraft maintenance records, and the weather at the time of the accident. Our mission is to understand not just what happened, but why it happened, and to make recommendations to prevent it from happening again. We will not be determining the probable cause of the accident while we're here on scene, nor will we speculate about what may have caused this accident. We expect the on-scene phase of this investigation to last anywhere from 3 to 4 days. One final comment. I'd like to thank all of the first responders to this accident. They have been working very hard to contain this accident and to ensure the scene is safe for everyone. We appreciate all that they have done. With that, I'd be happy to take a few questions. Please raise your hand, provide your affiliate, and then I'll take your questions. Yes, ma'am.
Lindsay Janice, ABC News. Can you confirm that you're looking into high winds or wind gusts at the time of the crash?
Yes, of course we'll be looking at all the weather aspects, but certainly the wind at the time of the accident is a concern. There was, as you know, perhaps there were winds of 16 knots with gusts up to 30 plus miles an hour throughout much of the afternoon. So that will be certainly one of the factors that our aircraft performance folks and also our meteorologists, weather folks will be looking at. Yes, sir.
Tony Aiello from CBS New York. You mentioned the cockpit voice recorder. Is there also a unit known as a flight data recorder on that plane?
This aircraft was not required to have a flight data recorder, so we do not have that. We are fortunate that the aircraft did have a cockpit voice recorder. That is being sent to our NTSB lab tonight. Hopefully we'll have an initial readout tomorrow morning once they get it, and that should help us a great deal in our investigation. The other non-volatile memory associated with the engines, we are going to be looking at for that today. However, because of the damage to the aircraft and the fire that ensued, we're not sure if we'll be able to get that, but fortunately we had the CVR. Sir.
Was the approach for that plane or all planes changed because of the wind that was taking place yesterday when that plane was trying to land?
Well, of course, what happens is that the air traffic controllers try to get the aircraft into the wind as much as possible so there's no crosswinds, and that the gusts would not be a problem. However, there's only so much they can do. So the airplane was cleared for the ILS 6 approach where they made the approach, and then once there, they were cleared to do the circling to land on runway 1. And so the aircraft was going to be landing on runway 1, which would be the best aircraft, or best runway, to get the aircraft into the wind as much as possible. But that would still leave a crosswind condition that all pilots would have to deal with. And of course, pilots throughout the area were dealing with the same winds, not just at this airport, but all airports in this northeast region. Yes, ma'am.
Lisa Evers from Fox 5. Do you have investigative tools to determine whether there was some type of interference with the flight path on the approach, like a drone?
Well, we'd be looking at that. It'd be difficult to, for instance, if it impacted the engines, if that should have been the case, we'd certainly be looking for evidence of that in our engine investigation. If there was any residual effect, for instance, of birds' strikes on the canopy, we'd be looking for that. But that is one thing that we certainly will be considering. However, as of yet, we have not seen evidence of that. That doesn't mean that it's not there. We just haven't seen it yet. But certainly that's part of the methodological approach that we take, very step by step. Thank you. Sir with the white shirt.
Ricardo Villarini with Channel 47 Telemundo. Can you tell us exactly how much time went by after the last communication with the tower and with the pilot or pilots, saying that they were having any problems?
I've heard the ATC tape, and perhaps others of you have heard, because I believe it was made public. And what it seems is that the pilot, they were talking to the aircraft while it was on approach, and the pilots did not express any sense of an extreme situation, nor did they identify any problem with the aircraft at the time. So the controller was talking to the airplane. He was cleared to land, and then there was obviously there was no longer any communication. So that was something that happened.
How much time went by, sir? The actual crash?
Well, I haven't analyzed it that closely. It's something that we'll be, obviously detailing, but it wasn't more than, I would guess, a minute between communications with the air traffic controller at the tower. Something on that order, but we'll, of course, have it more detailed. Yes, sir.
Brian Thompson, for NBC New York. Two questions. Have the pilots been identified, or when will they be? And the second question is, do you have any indication yet how busy flight operations were around Teterboro that may have had an impact on the need to get down, a lot of planes stacked up behind him, planes preparing to take off, that sort of thing?
Concerning the pilots, the names are being withheld by the coroner until they have confirmation, so I would not be releasing that information. Certainly we've talked to the company, and we have a sense of who these pilots were on this aircraft and so forth, but until the coroner releases the names, we won't be releasing the names. Concerning your second question, yes, I have seen communication from ATC at the time of the accident. He said that the traffic in the Teterboro area was moderate, so it wasn't anything that they wouldn't be out of the ordinary as far as traffic. So it was a moderate traffic, nothing out of the ordinary. So.
Hi, Peter Haskell with CBS. You talked about the right wing and the nose down. If you can just describe what that is and what that means and what that might tell you.
His question was, what does that indicate if the right wing down and nose down? Well, from what we can see from the small portion of video that we have seen, is that it would appear that the aircraft at that last moment was out of control. In fact, that would not be something that a pilot would be doing on purpose and so forth. So that would indicate that the aircraft at the very last moment or moments were out of control. And why it got there is, of course, the subject of the investigation.
Stephen Husk from the record. I just wanted to know, are there any safety records from Trans-Pacific, which I think is the company that was leasing the plane? Do you guys have safety records? Have there been any safety issues?
I'd be researching that. That's going to be part of our ongoing investigation. I certainly don't have any information concerning that right now, but obviously that would be something we'd look at during the course of the investigation, but I can't comment on it now. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Tony Yates with WABC. You said 1-minute gap. Is there anything that you can think of that would cause something to go so badly within 1 minute?
Yes, and when I say 1 minute, I think that's probably on the outside, time frame, because they were talking to the aircraft and they'd cleared the airplane to land, and he was expecting the aircraft to circle and land. So and what could happen between that, that's really the whole subject of the investigation. So there's numerous things that we'd be looking at, and that's why we have to take a very step-by-step approach, and we can't overlook anything because there's a lot of possibilities, and we can't speculate at that. And I'll get to you again, sir.
What you described with the aircraft out of control and the nose down in the right wing on the ground, is that indicative of an aerodynamic stall?
Well, that's certainly something that our aircraft performance investigators and engineers will be looking at, what caused that situation. We'll have to wait until they can do the proper analysis for that. I certainly can't speak to that right now. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Jen Maxfield with NBC in New York. I know you haven't identified the pilots. Can you tell us how much experience they each had?
That's something I'm really going to be looking at actually in the next day or two. So I have a kind of a general feeling for it, but I don't have the specifics. So I wouldn't want to comment on that more than just saying that from what we've looked at, they appear to be qualified and properly certificated. But other than that, I don't want to say anything more.
Okay, 2 more questions.
How do you describe the condition of what you found at the site there? Is there much to work with? It looks pretty obliterated from what we've seen.
Yeah, the airplane was destroyed. I mean, it appears that the airplane impacted one of the buildings, and then it impacted the parking lot. It impacted cars. There was quite a ground impact fire that consumed much of the airplane. So much of the structure has been consumed by fire, and the aircraft is basically broken up, would be the way to say that. Last question.
When it nosedived, did it hit the parking lot first, or did part of it hit a building?
We believe that the aircraft glanced or hit one of the buildings just prior to impacting the ground. So it was almost not simultaneous, but it was very close to being, shortly after it hit the building, then it hit the ground. One more last question.
Was there any chance these pilots could have brought this plane into a safe landing at any point? You talking about the plane being out of control. Was there any chance they could have made a safe landing?
Well, we really have to look at this. We're too early in the investigation to be able to make that determination. We still have to look at the aircraft, all the aspects of that. We have to look at the records of the airplane. There is just a lot to look at. Also the weather, aircraft performance issues. So to make a broad statement like that at this early part of the investigation would just be inappropriate.
One final question. Have you been able to measure the size, the length, the width of the debris field?
Yes, the debris field was about 440 feet in length, and I would guess about 100 feet wide would be about it. And then 3 of the buildings in the local area were impacted or damaged by fire.
And just in terms of the wind, you talk about the crosswind. Is a steady wind more of is an inconsistent wind more of a challenge than a steady wind? And what impact could a crosswind have?
Well, again, that's going to be an answer really that for our aircraft performance engineers to answer. But certainly airplanes land in crosswinds every day, but then when there's gusts, that makes it difficult, more difficult than just a normal landing, obviously. And the gusts were high. So that's certainly something that our engineers are going to have to look at very carefully.
Can you tell from the debris field how fast it was going at the time of impact?
No. But I think we'll be able to determine that, but it's just too early investigation to be able to say anything about that right now.
You know how much gas was in the tanks when it crashed?
We do not, but that's something that we'll be looking at as far as how much fuel they had on board. With that, unless there's something else.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome.